pipeline, no revenue. I've made that mistake. How do you find customers? How do customers find you? This is your lead gen engine. R for revenue. Your pricing, your packaging, your renewal mechanics, what's your profit margin, all of that needs to be very clear. E is the engine. This is your core product or service or platform that you deliver and how it fits the market needs. It's all about the design, the engineering, the product features, how to build what your customers will buy. A is for admin. This is all of your back office, finance, accounting, legal, billing, contracts, all of that. Things that keep your business running smoothly. And finally, M is marketing. How do you build reputation and brand through content, communities, connection, case studies? That is your business foundation, your dream machine, running 24/7. Now, here's where the magic starts. As a solo founder, you don't need to do all of this manually or need to hire people for it. According to US Chamber of Commerce, 58% of small businesses are already using generative AI. So let's take the real world story of a business owner in Chicago. He used to run reports and spend hours crunching numbers manually to figure out the price adjustments that he had to make because his cost of raw materials kept changing all the time. Now he takes all that raw material data and dumps it into ChatGPT and gets the analysis in minutes. He also feeds all the data from his QuickBooks and his point of sale systems directly into Google's Notebook LM. That AI then analyzes all of that data and creates a podcast. He shares that podcast with his branch managers on what's going well, what needs more work. So that AI tool has become his CFO. And you can do all of this today. If you're running a software company or building an app, your team can be 2 AI agents building the next version of your app. One agent writes the code, the other one reviews it and debugs it. They could be up all night, catching and killing bugs and shipping features. Today's AI is the worst AI you'll ever use. Tomorrow, it'll get better faster. Now, this may feel like a lot on day one, but here's something actionable that you can try today. Don't worry about building the entire machinery. Just focus on the first piece of a single component of that machine. This week, just pick one area, just one, and find a single recurring task that you can automate. Try, for example, demand. See if a tool like Clay can enrich 100 leads. For marketing, for example, see if Gamma can help you build the slide deck. Now, yes, you want to reach the top of Mount Everest, but you don't get there by staring at the summit from base camp. You get there by focusing on the 18 inches of snow in front of you. You lift your boot and you plant one deliberate step, just one step at a time. That's how you get there. But once you build this dream machine, you will face the biggest question. What do you do when your rivals copy your business and steal your customers? Your revenue will stay in the castle only when you've built a moat around your castle. Step 3, the moats. Here's what most of us forget. The real difficulty in the AI-driven world isn't starting a business, but staying in business. Most of you know the story of Blockbuster. In the early 2000s, it was the king of video rentals. 9,000 stores, $6 billion in revenue. And it was the only place in the US for everyone to go and rent movie DVDs. But Blockbuster made most of its money on charging fees for rentals and then for late returns. And everyone hated the late fees. Then came Netflix. It got rid of both those fees and started a brand new way of renting movies. You pay a monthly subscription fee and they'll mail you the DVD in that famous red envelope. Now, Blockbuster had no way to respond. If they tried to match Netflix strategy, it would destroy their core revenue model. Blockbuster even had a chance to buy Netflix for $50 million. They said no. And by year 2010, they went bankrupt. And Netflix value went from $50 million to nearly $500 billion. What's the lesson here? This is your first moat. In competitive strategy, this is called counter positioning. If you sell your product in a way that attacks the core business model of your competition, you can take their
Hello
market share.
guys, we are
They'll see
working
what
on
you're doing, but they won't be able to respond to
N8n
you without
automation, and
cannibalizing their own business.
I'm going to
And this
set up
happens time and again.
this on
Southwest
my
Airlines,
system setup.
Airbnb, Dollar Shave Club. Counter positioning is a great mode. The second mode is about sticky habits and creating high switching costs that make leaving you very painful. Think about it. Bing is a search engine that's just one click away. But Google has become a habit. iPhone users don't switch to Android easily. Uber users don't switch to Lyft easily. Nowadays, the new habit is ChatGPT. Google's Gemini is right there, built into the Chrome browser. But people are used to ChatGPT. So you should think about how to create such high switching costs. How do you make your product a habit? It's a great mode. And the third mode to make your business defensible, proprietary data and learning loops. Think about Google, Amazon, ChatGPT, Uber, Tesla. All of these great companies have one advantage. They have a gold mine of consumer data. They use that data to refine their products all the time. That generates more data for these companies, and it's a self-reinforcing loop. Now, you don't need to have that level of data, but I'd recommend that you think about this mode the hardest. Is there any proprietary data that you have? How do you get it? Is there a partnership you can strike? I'll give you another example. The fastest growing enterprise software company today is Cursor, and they are an AI coding platform for software engineers. They track and analyze keystrokes from millions of developers who use their product. The company analyzes those signals and launches a new feature every single day that drives more usage, and the learning loop continues. So those are the three modes. Now, even with all three modes, if you don't follow this one final step, your business may not find hypergrowth because no AI can debug the software that's running inside your head. Step 4, the mindset. Being a solo founder isn't about being fearless. It's about accepting the fear and showing up in the ring anyway. Now, listen, I doubt myself all the time. I can tell you so many stories from my life when I was afraid and I didn't take the risks that I should have taken. And I have regretted it since then. It happens to all of us. Nowadays, when I stare down at the risk, I have a decision to make. And I ask myself this question. When I am on my deathbed looking back, what will I regret most? This is the most important question for all of us in today's era. AI is going to change every industry, and it's changing almost every career. We're almost at this moment in time where AI becomes smarter than any human. And as you think about becoming a successful entrepreneur or employee in this new world, what will you bring to the table? Your taste, your purpose, your relationships, your judgment, your critical thinking. Things AI cannot replicate or automate. So when you have self-doubts, that's the mindset shift you have to make. You don't need permission from others. If you keep listening to that voice in your head, that inner critic of yours, it will always force you to pick regret over risk. You need to allow yourself to succeed, because this is the most fascinating and terrifying truth about your career and your life. The risks you take and fail have much less impact than the risks you fail to take. If you like this video, please like and subscribe so others can find this channel. Here's another video that I think you'll like. Thank you, and I love you. Most people think success is about discipline or working more hours. And sure, they will get you to the top 10%. But to reach the top 1%, the rules are completely different. I was once homeless and I thought I was a failure. Today, I'm a multimillionaire, investor, board member, advisor, $2 billion tech companies. And I didn't get there by working harder, but by designing systems that did the hard work for me. So instead of into
What if I told you that all my success in business actually comes from a single skill that I learned more than 10 years ago? By mastering this skill, I was able to print money in any business I started, including my Inc. 5000 PR agency with over 60 employees. Now, unlike learning AI or paid ads, which
How do you become better than 99% of marketers? I generated How do you become better than 99% of marketers? I generated $7.8 billion in sales for my clients, became a shark on Shark Tank, all because I spent 17 years of my life mastering one skill, marketing. But most marketers are doing things completely wrong. They're mucking around with ChatGPT, hoping and praying that people will care about what they've got to say, and then wondering why nothing's working for them. Today, I'll share with you the 3 pillars that will completely transform the way that you think about marketing. Which brings us to step number 1. Most marketers think that all they need to worry about is having the sexiest ads and the prettiest funnel, and they obsess over these things like crazy. They think about, what is the most perfect ad account structure? What's the latest way to structure my Facebook account so I get the cheapest cost per lead? What are all these little bells and whistles that I can add to my funnel? And that is the reason that they are broke. Instead, what you want to do is you want to spend 80% of your time just obsessively researching your market. And I'm talking about signing up to the biggest Facebook groups into your community, going on to Reddit and reading all the subreddits within them, and stalking these customers so you know their every single move. Because in marketing, the most powerful thing is not how you say things, it's what you say in the first place. But most people, they read a few copywriting books, they fall down the rabbit hole of direct response, and then they just mindlessly obsess over how to say the thing and not what to say. You want to create certain mechanisms in your business that allows you to constantly gather first market intel, contact forms, right? Have really rich data for when somebody books in a call with you, and then have a place that you store all of that, and then use AI to mine all of those data and to read all of those comments and to make sure that you're seeing where your market is, because markets move, things shift. New technology comes out, new competitors come in. So it's not something that is static. It is something that you constantly need to do to have your finger on the pulse, so that all the words that you're saying in your marketing, they strike like lightning, and people read it and they're like, oh shit, it's like this person hacked into my Gmail account. They know exactly what it is that I'm thinking about. They know what keeps me up at night, tossing and turning when I'm unable to sleep because I've got this problem. And when you understand this thing and you really zero in on the bullseye of that market, because you know what it is that they want, it makes everything pull its head off. Your funnels start converting like crazy. Your ads get CTRs that are just absolutely through the roof. Your CPLs, your cost per lead, is absolutely teeny tiny, and your customer acquisition cost is also the lowest it can possibly be, because you're speaking to the market as if you are one of them. You intimately understand their problems, and that makes everything else more profitable. Because the best marketers, they don't guess what their customers want. They literally camp out inside the mind of their dream prospects, and they know exactly what it is they want. Then what I like to do is just leave it, let it breathe for a day, and then come back to those assets and do a very aggressive edit and polish that up over the next 2 days. And I had to learn that the hard way. So I'm telling you right now, all the bells and whistles, the new Andromeda Facebook structure, fuck all of that. Just focus on your customer and be able to articulate their problem better than they can themselves. Then once you've obsessively focused on your market, you want to think about, who is my ideal client? Who is my dream buyer? And the way that you do that is by looking at your customer base and saying, what are the 20% of customers that are giving me 80% of my profits? And that is true for any business. This number exists. Obsessively focus on those 20% of customers. Architect your entire funnel around that. The ads, the landing pages, the VSLs, and the offers. Yes, forget about everybody else in that market. You will still get them, but when you focus on one dream buyer, it makes your message literally cut through the market like a hot knife to butter. And that's where people feel like, hey, this person is literally speaking to me. They're not speaking at a whole group of people. They are just speaking to me, and they understand me so intimately. We want to mindlessly focus on how they feel and where they want to go. Then once you identify that, in any given market, you have what I call a Coliseum keyword. data of your market. And there's typically 2 to 3 in every market that represent 80% of the search volume in my market. For instance, if you're a buyer's agent, it might just be the word buyer's agent plus location. Yes, they could be looking for a whole bunch of other spurious, what we call long tail keywords, and this is the best intel that you can ever get. You never want to change the way that your market speaks. So you don't want to read it all, interpret it, and then write it in your own words. No, 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 no. You want to take directly verbatim the comments that your market has, and you want to put them into your document. And then they're the things that form your ad copy, your lead-ins, your VSLs, your email body copy. It's exactly the language that your market is already using. You don't want to tamper with it. You want to leave it raw and just format it, but you don't want to touch the way that they say it. Because when you mine all the data in your marketplace, then you're not guessing which hooks are going to resonate with your market, which headlines are going to work. You already know, you already have all the intel there. But if you want to be in the top 1% marketers, we all know that all the money is made in the research. You want to obsessively focus on your market. It's not a once and done exercise. It's a continuous, living, breathing document that you always come back and reference to. And if this sounds like a lot of work, yes it is. It is the most profitable work that you can do in your business. Nothing even comes close to this. But if you want a bit of a helping hand, I have developed an AI tool that does all of this for you. It scrapes the internet, the sewers. It gets all of the raw materials and does all of this research for you in the click of a button. You can check the link for that in the description below. And this is step number 1, the Halo strategy, which brings us to step number 2. In any given market, 3% of that market is looking to buy right now. And this is where everyone obsesses over. They're just thinking about what are the hottest leads, what are the lowest lying cherries that I can pick straight away and get a customer as quick as I possibly can. And everyone just obsessively fights over these people. So the competition for these people is at an all-time high. Cost per clicks are through the roof. Everyone's messaging is only targeting the buyers, and you're just fighting it out for the scraps. And it's all about how quickly can I get to the lead? How quickly can I convert this person? When you do that, your campaigns, it's very, very hard for them to be profitable at scale. Instead, what you want to do is you want to think about the people that fall out of those 3%, the people that are interested, they're curious, they're not looking to buy right now, but they do have a problem and they are open to buying. These are the people that are in information gathering mode. And this is where I have made my fortunes. It is not fighting for the 3%, because let's be honest, right? You don't need to be a very skilled marketer to be able to convert the 3%. However, the long games are always the best games to play. That's where most of the returns in business are had. And we're going to build a funnel that is architected to serve all those people, and we're still going to get the hyperactive buyers, the people that have got a problem that they need to solve immediately. But we're also going to just increase all of our TAM, our total addressable market of our funnels, dramatically to the outside of that top of the pyramid. And I realized this when I was starting my business. You had all these digital marketing agencies, and the only way that they could get clients is by running Google ads for people that were specifically looking for SEO agencies, Facebook ad agencies, bringing them through to a landing page and then say, get a quote. Not a very difficult thing to do. I knew that the fishing was best where the fewest go. I did not want to compete in that red ocean and just go in with that same old boring vanilla shit. So what I did is I created 3 reports, high value content offers that sold education around giving people the answers to all the questions that they've got. Yes, I would get a whole bunch of people that were just looking to read free information. Cool. Guess what else I was getting? I was getting a lion's share of the 3% of people that were also looking to buy right now. Because what is less threatening of an offer? Get a quote, speak with a salesperson right away, or download this free information about getting #1 Google rankings. So my offers were converting at 300 to 500% more than what their offers were. And I was sucking in all the leads and really being able to control the whole buying dynamic, because I had the prospect's name, email address, and phone number. I was able to educate them and nurture them into a place where they were ready to buy. And those other guys, they weren't even getting an opportunity to do that, because they were all making what I call hard offers. They were going out there and being like, just speak with us and buy some shit. Bro, that's the 3%. And I was getting the other 97% of the people, and then I control the market. And that's how I built the #1 fastest growing digital agency multiple years in a row, as ranked by the Australian Financial Review, by using this one simple tactic. And it's that unlock that just completely changes everything. So in any given market, there's 3% of prospects that are looking to buy right now. Then there is a further 17% that are in information gathering mode. Then you have a further 20% of the market that are problem aware, but they're not out there actively looking for solutions to their problem. And then you have a further 60% that aren't even problem aware, i.e. they don't even know that they have a problem yet. They're not searching for solutions. And your job as a marketer is to slowly move each section of that pyramid up and up and up. So instead of just fighting for the scraps, fighting for the 3%, which everybody does, we're focusing on the entire pyramid itself, and we're using our marketing and our funnels as a mechanism to take that prospect from where they are right now and then move them up to a place where they're actually ready to buy. Because in all markets, you have what I call 3 oceans. You have first the red ocean, and this is where 99% of people compete. It's again the people that are looking for a quote, the people that are looking to buy right now. Then we have the orange ocean. Now, there is still competition here. It is very much attention driven, but it's not so price sensitive. And these prospects, they're not out there just looking for an offer, right? They're looking for proof that what you're saying actually works. These guys have probably tried 1 or 2 existing solutions to whatever it is that you're selling. They are a buyer, but they're not just going to go in, eyes closed, and trust everything you say. They're going to be looking for more proof. There's a little bit more skill that it takes to operate in this market, but again, it's also infinitely bigger than the first-time buyers of 3%. Then we have the blue ocean. This is where I like to operate. That's why competition is uncontested. There's not a hyper-fixation just on price. It's more so on value, but it takes a lot more skill to sell to the blue ocean. You need to use storytelling, very elaborate hooks. You need to educate people about all the solutions that are out there in the marketplace, all of the problems, what happens if they make the wrong decision. So there's a lot more elements that are more skill, but this section of the market is infinitely bigger than the 3% that are looking to buy right now. So let's talk about actually how you do it. What you want to do is you want to lead with value. Instead of leading with hard offers and sales messages, you want your ads, your offers, your VSLs, everything that you put out into your marketplace be of value in themselves. And it takes you from a mindset of like, how do I convert as many people as I possibly can right now and make as many hard offers, to how do I educate and control the market by educating all of the prospects in there and by controlling the buying criteria. And that way you get to speak to the other 97% of people in your market rather than just speaking to the 3% that are looking to buy right now. But here's the problem. Most people stop here because even if you know all the right things to say, you can still get ignored by prospects if you don't know how to stop them from scrolling and actually get them to pay attention to your marketing. Which brings us to step number 3. The internet is a wild and chaotic place, and you're not competing with your competitors for attention. You're competing with all the other alternatives that exist that are infinitely more entertaining than the boring shit that you've got, right? Because you're trying to sell some stuff. So instead, you have to be fully aware that your offers exist on the internet. Now, I know that sounds very elementary. It is a fundamental thing that everyone just ignores. So instead of thinking about what is the stuff that you've got to sell, you've got to give the market what they want, where their brain is wired to go to. They're given that dopamine hit. And that's what I call giving your market crack. In order to actually do what I want people to do, right, which is to consume my ads, just like they're consuming other stuff. And it was that pivotal shift that just dramatically increased my conversion rates through the roof, because consumption precedes conversion. If you want people to convert, they've got to consume the message. And unless you're thinking about your ads and your offers in this way, then you're always going to be in the 99% of lame marketers, and you're never going to really come through. Because the most undervalued asset in the world right now is attention, and it is the currency of the internet. So in order to buy that, you need to know how to operate in the marketplace. And the first thing to do is just to be a student of markets, to spend time on these platforms, see the type of content that is rewarded. What you will notice is the content that does the best is the most dramatic. It is the most polarizing. It's the thing that disrupts the scroll, gets people to pay attention to whatever it is that you do, because the human brain is a pattern recognition machine. All we do is just go through patterns all day long, and any novel is a threat to our existence. We're like, whoa, 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 this seems new. I better pay attention to this, otherwise my existence would be threatened. If you're not trying to disrupt that pattern, then you're never going to get people to stop on their newsfeed and pay attention to whatever it is that you're doing. So the very, very first rule that I have is to make your ads not look like ads. Because what most people do is they sit down and they think, how do I make an ad that stands out? If it looks like an ad, you're dead on arrival. It's already done. Finish. It's over. People don't want to watch ads. That's why millions of people have ad blockers and shit, or immediately scroll past your ads. So what you got to do is make your ad not look like an ad. Make it look like native content that already exists on those platforms. And another key way to make your ad not look or feel like an ad is to talk to your prospect like they are a human. Speak in a way that you're speaking to an individual and not a group of people. You don't need to be buttoned up. You want to use the exact language that your market uses and make sure that the thing feels like a human has actually written to it. The next thing that you want to do is you want to deeply research all of your competitors, get all of their ads, chuck them in a swipe file, look at their VSLs, look at their funnels, look at everything that these individuals are doing, look at them all and go, I need to make sure that I'm doing the opposite of this. If you're doing the normal, boring shit, wooden background, like two different kind of LED lights colored in the background, just like a talking head VSL, it's already over. Sayonara. Goodbye to you, right? It's done. Because you're never going to stand out. That's why everyone's doing it. Guess why everyone's doing it? Because it's easy. Anything that requires effort is your moat. So just do things that are different to what everybody else is doing, and people will start to reference that on your sales call. So they'll be like, oh, like you're the person that was riding around the elephant on your ad, right? You were on the unicycle. You were, topless. You were whatever it is. They will know that you're different because by definition, everything that you're putting out is different. Next up, what we want to do is create an irresistible offer that is the bait, that brings people into your world. The way that we use a high-value content offer, which is just that, it's a piece of content that you put out to your market email address and phone number, and then you get an instant free report delivered to your
ये है n8n है और इसमें मैं बेसिकली अपने प्रोसेस को ऑटोमेट करने की ट्राई कर रहा हूँ. लेट्स सी हाउ इट गोस.
You've gone through this video step by step. You think, I am ready to go out there and get some leads, get some customers. No, you are not. Because even if you have all that stuff in place, you need to hijack their attention in the chaotic blizzard that is the internet. And the way that we do that is headlines. They literally grab our prospect by the throat, stop them from scrolling.
Oh my God.
And forces them to pay attention. Because your headline is the thing that's going to get seen more than anything. If you get everything else right, still dead on arrival. So we need to spend a disproportionate amount of our time thinking about the headlines, writing the headlines, testing all the different variations of the headlines. And the place that I like to go to get inspiration from my headlines are the most widely visited websites in the world. Like, I like to go to gossip websites, news
And the
sites,
question documents and the
podcast
subcategories.
trashy magazines
You will like
that
that,
see
that's
at
sure.
supermarket aisles just before you check out. I go into supermarkets just to see those things, take photos of them, find winning headlines. The first thing that your headline needs to address is the information that you're presenting is urgent, because if it's not, they're just going to keep scrolling. So you need to answer the question of why is this information urgent?
This is automation and I'm trying my best.
What is unique about
Get
this? Is it something that I've seen 1,000 times before, or is it unique and new information? And the next thing is it specific? You can't be talking in just loose generalities. It needs to be hyper specific to the exact problems that your market has. If it's not, people will just keep on going on and ignoring your message. Then we have useful. How is this information? How is my life going to be better after giving you all my attention and actually reading whatever it is you're asking me to read? And that is how you give your market crack, which is step number 3, giving your market crack. But here's the thing, even if you get all of this stuff right, it's only going to take you so far unless you know how to craft what I call a Godfather offer. So I made a video that walks you step by step on exactly how to do that here. Go check that out now. Stay dangerous, take action, and I'll see you on the other side.
Another just of any. I need something just I don't know who you are. अगर तुम साथ हो मेरी नजरों में है तेरे सपने
This is too much. Seven bajiya. मेरी जान I think I should go to sleep now.